I'm Jessie Masioliva. I'm from Labindam, but I live in Mombasa. I like listening to Gold FM.
Only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Sadie Sakio from Kashmir Lotoka. I like listening to Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Sakata Losana. I'm from Butua and I love listening to Gold FM.
Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Lambasa teen's death classified murder. Singh to pay damages for defaming PM and AG. And Rumbuka defends Sudelpa unity.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
Police have classified the death of 13-year-old Gia Janvi at Namara in Lambasa on Wednesday night as murder. This was determined after receiving the post-mortem results, which was conducted today. Janvi was found lying unconscious by the door of the flat she rents with her mother. According to police, the Year 9 student was found by the landlord after he had heard her screaming outside where she was hanging her uniform. There were stab wounds on her body. Police say the 13-year-old was alone at home at the time of the incident as her mother was away at work. The Divisional Crime Officer Northern and his team of investigators are working on the case. When FBC News arrived at their home today, work colleagues and relatives of the family were visiting the grief-stricken mum, Rohini Lal. She was later taken by police team to the Lambasa police station as investigation continues. Meanwhile, police have classified the death of a woman found inside her Lami shop on Tuesday night as murder. Spokesperson Ananai Soro says the investigation into the death of the 35-year-old Fai Yen Chan continues after a post-mortem conducted yesterday. The National Fire Authority was alerted to a fire in Lami town around 9 p.m. on Tuesday, and firefighters found a room at the top flat in flames. The body of Chan was discovered in the two-bedroom flat. Lautoka lawyer Aman Ravindra Singh has been ordered to pay Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama and Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum over $149,000 in damages for defamation. Bainimarama and Said Qayyum submitted in court that Singh made unsubstantiated allegations on social media about them and the May 2000 coup. The court found that Singh posted an unsubstantiated article titled "Regime Dirty Politics" on his Facebook page. Pranita Prakash reports.
The Civil High Court today ordered Singh to also write a public retraction and apology to the Prime Minister and the Attorney General in prominent print, which is to be published on his Facebook page and in all local daily newspapers. He has also been ordered to remove this subject article from his Facebook page. Singh is to pay $60,000 each to the Prime Minister and the Attorney General, with 6% interest on the sum awarded from 7th March 2018 to date of the judgment. He must also pay $8,000 as cost within 30 days. The High Court in its ruling states the allegation were serious in nature and one should not make allegation of this nature unless they are true and have strong grounds to justify them. It also says people who read the article would certainly have lost faith in Prime Minister because he was referred to in the said article as violent Vorenge. The High Court further adds the second plaintiff, the Minister of Economy and Attorney General, was also elected by people of Fiji and without any reasonable ground was referred to as corrupt Qayyum. The High Court judge said that people have various political affiliation, but one must not defame the character of another for his own political gain, which is what happened in this case. The ruling states that court will have no sympathy towards people who violate the rights of others in the guise of exercising their rights guaranteed under the Constitution. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Ahead of the Social Democratic Liberal Party's special general meeting, leader Sitiveni Rumbuka claims the party is now more united than ever before. Sudelpa has been embroiled in months of infighting, which has caused a deep rift and public displays of disunity. Lena Rees has more.
In a video message posted on social media, Rumbuka alludes that differences have been put on the wayside as Sudelpa gears up for the 2020 general election, which is 18 months away.
Yes, we have our disagreements and differences of opinion, but that is great. That is democracy at work. We don't want a party that has a minister for everything. We want a party that has collective leadership.
Rambuka's allegiances have shifted over time from one faction of SODELPA to another, led by his traditional High Chief Ratunaingama Lalambalavu.
Whatever life I have in me, I will dedicate it to my beloved nation of Fiji. With the last breath I have in my body, I will ensure that every citizen of Fiji, whatever background, whether it's okay, Indo-Fijian, Asian, Pacific Islander, etc., will live in a free and just society where you can criticize your government and also be a part of it.
SODELPA will be holding a special general meeting tomorrow to deal with the deferment of the annual general meeting, adopt audited financial statements for 2019, and adopt a process for the selection of party leader. Lena Rees, FBC News.
The Minister for Economy has labelled Fijians who have not yet downloaded the Care Fiji app as irresponsible. Speaking at the 2020-2021 Post-Budget Forum organised by Fiji Australia Business Council and the New Zealand Business Council yesterday, Ayasad Qayyum said the app is created using the same technology as Singapore and Australia. Pranita Prakash reports.
50,000 Fijians have downloaded the app since its launch last month.
You want to talk about business, you want to talk about travel, you want to talk about travel bubble, you're completely irresponsible by not having the app on. And I bet you most of you don't have it on. You're completely irresponsible. Because this is actually a team effort. You need to have the app on.
The minister says one of the ways people assess a country's capacity to deal with the pandemic is with the contact tracing app.
Now what people don't realize is that when Australia and New Zealand will be looking at Fiji's app, they'll look at how many people have already downloaded it. When the Australian tourist, if the bubble is opened up soon, says, yes, I can go to Fiji, they are COVID contained. In the event that there is somebody with COVID-19, they can trace really quickly and tell me because they've got an app. Numerous studies from Oxford University, various other universities that shows that digital contact tracing is one of the best ways of contact trace and is very efficient.
Care Fiji app notifies users if they are exposed to the virus. The app uses Bluetooth technology to make contact tracing much faster and accurate. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Up ahead, UN Resident Coordinator applauds 2020-21 budget, and John Wesley students receive food packs.
मेरा नाम शिबू है मैं टावर टाउन में रहता हूँ and I love listening to Mirchi FM it's hot.
My name is Karthik Abdestan और बाग में Mirchi FM it's hot.
नमस्कार मैं अलीम हूँ लंबासा से मैं हमेशा मिर्ची FM सुनता हूँ मिर्ची FM is hot in लंबासा.
Mirchi FM it's hot.
The United Nations has commended the Fijian government for a bold and courageous budget. Resident Coordinator Sanaka Samarasina says the government took into consideration recommendations from the UN Socio-Economic Impact Assessment on COVID-19. The study looked into health, education, food security, social protection, employment and macroeconomics. Kelly Vadhala reports.
Social cohesion and fragmentation of communities during this crisis is paramount.
We are facing very difficult circumstances here in the Pacific. There is a tendency for people to think that borrowing in and of itself is bad, but we know that that is not the case around the world. Countries are borrowing, they need to borrow. The important thing is to be able to access concessionary finance as much as possible.
Sanaka Samarasina says Fiji needs to build a stronger economy that can slowly diversify and be inclusive.
I'm very optimistic that once the budget is debated and eventually a budget is passed in Parliament, that we would work very closely with the government on the necessary policies.
Permanent Secretary for the Prime Minister's Office, Yogesh Karan, says the report is comprehensive, challenging the government.
The huge challenge now is with those ideas, suggestions and very strong recommendations made by the United Nations, how Fiji will respond to that in terms of implementation. As you know that we have got a very large social sector.
The report was presented to government during the consultation process prior to the budget announcement last Friday. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Fijians will now be able to invest in their future and own a home as the cost of constructing a house may become cheaper. The Construction Industry Council says the reduction in duties and taxes announced in the national budget will also see a decline in the prices of raw materials. Kritika Kumar reports.
The Construction Industry Council has applauded the government's efforts to assist the sector in creating economic activities.
In this recent budget, the government has actually made efforts to reduce customs duty on imported raw materials, for example. That will make construction materials cheaper, that should make it cheaper with the reducing. So there would be more activity within the construction sector.
Vijay Naidu believes the stakeholders also need to do their part and consider other factors as well.
I think we need to rethink the labor rates as well, not only the material rates. If you haven't been able to afford to build a home, now is the time.
Council President Gordon Jenkins says they have enough stock of construction material in the country. Therefore, the sector is not severely impacted by the pandemic. Jenkins says the budget has provided some sort of relief.
It's taking us a long time to slow down, but we are slowing down. And it's also going to take us a long time to speed up again. So with a bit of a nudge from the budget and everything, hopefully we can get off the mark again.
For investors who have been granted Fiji Revenue and Customs Service tax concession for a project, the Ministry of Economy will assist them through the implementation and approval process with an overriding priority on bringing the economic benefits of these projects to the people as quickly as possible. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The effects of the coronavirus are being felt by Fijians in many ways. Many people who have lost their jobs are finding difficulty sending their children to school and can only afford a packet of noodles for lunch. Today, Aon Insurance Company stepped in to provide food packs to the students of the John Wesley Primary School. Sainiani Boiler reports.
Some of his students come to school with rice and noodles, while some with noodles only.
We hope and trust that whatever assistance they help will help the students of John Wesley from the COVID crisis pandemic that we are facing today.
Aon Associate Director Emma Torres says this is part of their community work.
What we've been having is that most students or parents cannot afford to send their child to school with lunches. So we decided as a staff of Aon Fiji that we would do lunches and also provide some stationeries for some of the needy children here at John Wesley.
150 stationery packs for all the kids. This is for early childhood kids. And the 80 packs of lunch with apple and a fruit box.
It was by far one of the most brightest day by some of the students of John Wesley Primary School here in Rewanga, as they were being gifted with food packs and some stationery to help them throughout the term. These students were identified by the school to have been affected by the pandemic. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
And turning overseas, United States is still by far the worst hit nation by COVID-19 with over 4 million confirmed cases. Deaths are also rapidly rising with more than 1,000 recorded yesterday. These stark figures are forcing a U-turn by President Donald Trump. And Whitney joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jack. In business tonight, new app launch for consumer complaints. And in growing Fiji, farmers given Yangona cuttings to spur productivity. Stay with us.
Sanglare, ay tako sa inya na time, au tap may na oro na alo may maduaan. Mayo to ale ahi na Radio Fiji 1 nanto moy binti.
Tambol braka ndang ko sela sa takau. Au batu tu me bot kola au ta tingai tabua ondo me boli tina singile wango na makete ondo tali ta kana barro na Radio Fiji 1 ondo moy biti.
Yola binarigi ayo na vango kelera mai udah tot mai na corona lota mayang ite mai ba. Do tali tahin ne na to mai biti na to monga ni be ya ya.
Radio Fiji One nando moi viti.
Leading business, Fijian consumers can now lodge complaints remotely via new smartphone consumer app launched by the Consumer Council of Fiji. Trade Minister Fayaz Koe says consumers are vulnerable to unscrupulous trade deals during these times, and the app will help address these issues in real time. Josiah Nanunga reports.
The initiative comes at a time when consumers demand efficient and effective services.
The government remains committed to enabling a fair and a safe marketplace. With a grant of over $1 million in the 2021 financial year, we will ensure that the Council is able to continue best practices of advocating consumer rights and responsibilities.
Consumer Council Chief Executive Sima Shandel says they will continue to maintain efficient turnaround times for every complaint.
We have a process where normally we try to provide quick redress, which we mean 3 to 5 days, especially when the cases are simple. But sometimes we have complex cases where it takes a bit of a while, but our turnaround time usually is about 3 to 5. Or complex cases we normally take 7 days, or sometimes it takes a month or so.
The $77,000 project was funded by the Pacific Financial Inclusion Program. Josiah Nanunga, FBC News.
We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
The American dollar suffered from another round of sell-off amid mounting pressure between the US and China. China has said that it must retaliate after the US ordered the abrupt closure of its Houston, Texas consulate. Also, the number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits unexpectedly rose last week for the first time in nearly 4 months. Data showed nearly 32 million people were collecting unemployment checks in early July. This reflects that the labor market is stalling in the world's largest economy as they continue to record new COVID-19 cases and lower demand. And in all this rising risk environment, the investors are now flocking into safe haven currencies like the Japanese yen and Swiss franc for comfort. Closer to home, New Zealand's monthly trade balance for June 2020 recorded a surplus of $426 million. Further details suggest that imports have grown to $4.64 billion, whereas exports dropped to just above $5 billion. And that's all from your HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Turning to today's local exchange rates as set this morning. It's usual when the Fiji dollar drops against the Chinese yuan and the US greenback, it gains against the currencies of our two major trading partners, the Australian and Kiwi dollars. And that's what happened today. Meanwhile, the Sangamoli slipped slightly versus the rest of the currencies we cover. Commodities were mixed. Crude oil prices dropped to near the $41 per barrel mark. Gold dropped up about $16 to $1,883 per ounce. And silver was down at $22.57 an ounce. The future of Fiji's economy lies with the agricultural sector. This was the view of Agricultural Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy while handing out Yangona cuttings to farmers in Ra. Edwin Nunn reports.
Dr. Reddy says every aspect of the economy has taken a hit from COVID-19, but agriculture has carried on largely unaffected.
Agriculture is our hope. You look at now what has happened to the country with regard to COVID-19. But our work on the ground continued. Agriculture sector continued to grow.
These Yangona cuttings are being provided to spur productivity and help farmers invest in what is a booming sector. Dr. Reddy is urging farmers to step out of their comfort zone and help double production and exports in the next 12 months.
We will continue to come, work with you, advise you, give you technical advice so that you can put your land, agricultural resource to full use, 100%. I want to tell you that you will be no different to an accountant, a school teacher, agriculture, treat it as a profession, as a business.
The ministry received a $5 million increase in its next budget. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
That's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thank you, Whitney, and good evening in Sports Tonight. Nandronga ready to defend fair brother. And champs in tough BOG pool. This and more coming up.
नाम लवेश नारायण है हम रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है रेडियो फीजी का इसके लड़का
जी हाँ मैं ताबुआ शहर से बोल रहा हूँ मेरा नाम शर्मा है फिलहाल मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 हमेशा सुनता हूँ जो रेडियो फीजी 2 देश का धड़कन।
मेरा नाम चंद्रा है मैं रकेती से बात करती हूँ आपके राम राम मुझे रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत पसंद है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Nandronga is all set and focused on their Skipper Cup and Fair Brother Trophy clash with Suva. The two champion teams have put in a lot of work over the last 4 weeks, and many are expecting fireworks when they kickstart their 2020 season tomorrow afternoon. Aquila Dama has more.
There's no excuses from Nandronga with less than 20 hours away from the much-anticipated clash with Suva.
So we need to play Ravati.
The 3 weeks of preparations have been enough for some of our players, but some joined the squad later. But still, that is enough time to prepare.
Only one thing is now left for Nandronga before they play the Skipper Cup champions.
Supporters here in Nandronga come down on Saturday and be a moral support to our players who will be going on to the field for the 80 minutes. Your presence on Saturday will highly boost the boys.
For the capital city side, they know repeating what they did in 2017 is easier said now than done.
Every team from throughout the years, when they play Nandronga, they always prepare well to try and go and defeat Nandronga in their home turf. We know it's a difficult task, but we'll try our best.
The 2017 Suva coach who wrestled the Fair Brother away from Nandronga was Seya Sifuli, and he says resilience is the key.
And everyone, the starting 15 and the bench, need to believe in the same objective and goal, and that is to play and win the Fair Brother, because never will Nandronga give away the trophy, the Fair Brother, easily.
Nandronga will host Suva tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. at Lawanga Park. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Nandronga and Suva have both named the powerful sides for their Skipper Cup and Fair Brother clash tomorrow. Former flying Fijian Napoleon Inalanga will start on the wing for Nandronga along with Choeli Lutumailangi. Other familiar names in the Stallions lineup include Ermasi Renronro, Rupeni Nasinga and Apisalo Mewangatambu. Suva have named the captain John Stewart, who is one of the 2 players remaining from the 2017 winning side. Enele Malele, James Brown, Sireli Lendua, Vesi Rarawa and Elia Dhanakaibata are also in the starting side. Remember, you can watch the match live and exclusive on the FBC Sports channel via the Walesi platform at 3:30 p.m. as well as the Women's Skipper Cup coverage live at 1 p.m. Defending champion of the Punja's Battle of the Giants, Lambasa, has been drawn in a tough pool. The Mbamba Lions will have to square off with Mba, Suva and Nasino in Pool A. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The Punja's BOG tournament has been scheduled to take place in Lautoka next month.
Today will mark another historical event that the biggest company in Fiji will partner with the biggest football association and giving the community the game that all of them love and enjoy.
Since 1978, the BOG tournament has been a highly anticipated competition between top-ranked teams in Fiji.
Punjas will sponsor the Battle of Giants tournament for the next 3 years, commencing 2020 to 2022. The Battle of Giants tournament is the most anticipated football competition of the year.
With Pool A having Lambasa, Ba, Suva and Nasinu, Pool B will see hosts Lautoka, Rewa, Nandi and Navua battle it out.
So there will be temperature checks. The Care Fiji app, you'll need to have it on your phone when you enter the ground, and the social distancing will be there. And this is all a compulsory thing. And so don't be disappointed. Tell the fans and everyone, please adhere to the rules.
The winner of the Punjas BOG tournament will walk away with $18,000, while the runners-up will receive $5,000. The pool matches will be on the 7th, 8th and 9th of August, while the finals will be played on the 15th and 16th. Philip Naikaso, FBC Sports.
The Rewa football team is treating its Vodafone Premier League clash against Lautoka this Sunday as one of the most important of the season. The Delta Tigers currently top the VPL points table and are adamant on maintaining that lead throughout the season. Tali Materkula reports.
The clash against Lautoka is a special one for these players.
It's going to be the game of the season for us. It's more important than the remainder of the season, because we have lost 5 points already and we don't want to lose any more points. So if we have to be consistent at our position on the top of the table, this game is important to us.
But Rewa knows getting the 3 points will not be easy.
We need to score goals, we need to defend goals, and we need to make sure that we are in control of the ball all the time.
Also hungry for a win are the giant killers Nasinu Football. The team is banking on the support of its fans ahead of their clash against Navua.
Just a message to the fans, please come in numbers, support the team, and we'll make sure that you go back with a smiling face on Sunday.
Rewa takes on Lautoka at 1 p.m. on Sunday at Ratudha Kumbau Park in Nosori. The match will air live on the FBC Sports channel on the Walesi platform and also on FBC TV. Also on Sunday, Nasinu meets Navua at 3 p.m. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
Sports Minister Parvin Bala says Fiji looks forward to continuing the close sporting relationship we've shared with Japan over the years. With less than a year to the 2021 Tokyo Olympic Games, the Japanese government has assured continued support for Team Fiji. Karlani Tavi has more.
As potential representatives set their sights on the Olympics, Minister Pravin Bala says Team Fiji must persevere despite the current pandemic.
Yes, COVID-19 pandemic has also touched the livelihoods of all Fijians and transformed our way of doing things, but also challenged us to rise and keep moving forward. With sports as an enabler, the Fiji and Japan relationship has been made stronger moving forward during this COVID-19 period.
Japanese ambassador to Fiji, Masahiro Omura, says as host country, Japan will do what it can to help Team Fiji's participation in the Games.
The Fiji men's national rugby sevens team created history by winning Fiji's first Olympic gold medal at the Rio Games in 2016. Japan continues to do its best in preparing for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games and is looking forward to welcoming Fiji. So please be as prepared as possible, for you will be competing in it.
The men and women's sevens teams are the only teams that have been confirmed for the Olympic Games so far. The Tokyo Olympic Games was scheduled to begin yesterday, but has been pushed back a year due to the pandemic. Karleni Tavi, FBC Sports.
Fiji Mbati winger Maika Sivo scored a double for the Eels in their 26-16 win over the West Tigers last night. Also getting on the score sheet was former Mbati Regan Campbell-Gillard. In today's Play of the Day, we take you back to 2017, which was the last time Suva wrestled the Fairbrother Sullivan Trophy away from Nandronga at Lawanga Park. The Stallions were leading 23-19 with seconds remaining before Suva scored through Eronisau.
And Choneteri, and it goes 10 in from the Greenstein touchline side. It's there for Suva. They try and get it out, and Terry's got it out. No, Nandronga come quickly up, charging in defence. It's there for Suva. They have the ball. They need a try. They know that. They take it through. It's there for Suva. And they've got numbers out wide. Up beside Daveta Koritakalio, Tauyavuda. One of them, it was Tauyavuda, takes it up. Suva now can stretch it. Can they get the ball out? Out quickly in the corner. And Suva dive in the corner. And that is the victory for Suva. Is that Eroni Sao?
Can Suva repeat that tomorrow, or will Nandronga fight off the first challenge? Tune into the FBC Sports Channel tomorrow at 3:25 p.m. to find out. That's it from Sports Tonight. In new media after the break, Twitter fights back against conspiracies and misinformation. This and more coming up.
Hola, my name is Salate. I'm from Navindam. We love listening to the FM.
My name is Koto. I'm from Nagaranga. I love Today FM because of latest hit music and Today FM rocks.
My name is Sulweti. I'm from Nagaranga. Today FM rocks.
Tonight, Twitter is fighting back against conspiracies and misinformation by banning thousands of anonymous accounts. We now join Angie with weather.
Bola and welcome to the weather world. The Friday weather should be like this because it really sets up the mood for the weekend. From what I'm seeing from here, I think the 2 days will have a smooth sailing. Now checking the other centers out, in the west, the skies were bright, the temperatures were high too, reaching approximate 33 degrees to 35 at times. The night will be moderate. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, another beautiful day witnessed here. The sun was a bit more than usual. I just wish it stays put like that. And up north, what can beat the sunshine here? Now I can say a dip in the sea under that open skies would be marvelous. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 or 25 knots, moderate to rough seas. Now turning to the tides, high tide at 9:42 tonight and low tide at 3:42 a.m. Sunrise at 6:36. For tomorrow, good news for those in Viti Levu. There is solid sunshine readily available. As for the north, there is passing showers, which won't be that harsh. Tomorrow's temps, our friends from Lambasa will need sunscreens as temperatures will rise to 32 degrees, the warmest of all the centers. And looking further on to Sunday, the relaxing day. Did someone just say picnic? Because the weather looks fit for a picnic. Well, whatever you do this weekend, keep safe and enjoy. That's all the weather news from my end. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, who do you think will win the Fairbrother Cup Challenge tomorrow?
Nandro, because it's in the system, it's already there.
Nandronga. Yeah, because they are the best team in Fiji.
I think Suva will win the Fairbrother.
I think Suva will have to win the Fairbrother. Suva will win, and I'm sure of it.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Lambasa teen's death classified murder. Singh to pay damages for defaming PM and AG, and Rumbuka defends Sidalpa unity. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question, do you feel the new budget is going to make things easier in these trying times? Visit our FBC website to answer. And before we go, our shot of the day, last one for the week, and it is the perfect picnic day at Saweni Beach, sent in by Madhu Tamani. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, our Facebook page FBC News, and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Kulare ya na bango
ko latila tarelau au daptu mana korbatura on tawaran kino ele bana santa kon robe to talita kana barang wali bana Bula FM ira kena serap kena mutaka do matagren
Bula na haka terstia au waktu itu kalau toka au talita kana barang ng Bula FM na banduan serre
Solomina kaya to sabi betapuan to warung ng Bula FM na banduan serre
Bula FM, number 2 en serie.